I hope you're having an amazing day. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel and my videos. Um, I am here to report 95 days of no sugar. So, back when I started this 21-day challenge, you'll notice if you look at the previous videos, I think the last one I did was like day 15 or something. I don't remember, but I never updated. Um, and the crazy thing is, it wasn't because I failed. It wasn't because I quit. And I don't want to say fails. It wasn't because I had an ebb. It was because I was just in the flow and just going. And I made it to 95 days without sugar, which I don't know, that like blows my mind. That's over 3 months. And I am definitely someone who was hardcore drawn to sugar. Maybe I was even addicted. Um, I definitely had the like biological pull. So from, my physical body, but also like the emotional pull. So I would use sugar to numb any like uncomfortable feelings. And it could be like, the deep stuff or something as simple as like, okay, I am like working and I get to a hard point and I would have sugar then. So it was definitely a wide range of things that I would use it to numb and escape from. But 95 days, it definitely got easier and easier, and just became a part of like my lifestyle. Like I stopped thinking I needed to have sugar after a meal or in between if things got hard. I what would I do? Okay, so I may have mentioned this in a past video, but I would have fat bombs made, and the protein powder that I use is Kelly LeVex protein powder, and that's sweetened with monk fruit sweetener. So I would definitely rely on those, which are delicious and also have a good amount of protein and fat in them. So they also kept me full. Additionally, I think what helped was for sure eating Fab Four meals. I bring it back to Kelly LeVeque. Like I just love her and I'm so grateful for her information. Um, so yeah, having meals that kept me full so I wouldn't have blood sugar crashes and then have those cravings. So that really helped with like the biological cravings or the biological cravings. And then when it came to emotional, like I said, I would go for the fat bombs. Like I wouldn't just tell myself I couldn't have anything. And then also, what is it? Vital Proteins has a chocolate collagen powder, which it's so good. Like if you ever ate Cocoa Pebbles or like Cocoa Puffs as a kid and just I don't know. If you did, you probably can like close your eyes and imagine how good those smelled. That's what it smells like. That's what it tastes like. So I would just like mix some collagen in with water and seriously, I just mixed it with water and it was that good. And that one was sweetened with stevia. So those were like my two things I kind of relied on when I was craving. Also, I'm actually not sure at what point in the process this happened, but I was gifted a sound bowl. And I decided that if I was having like a major craving, I would go and play my sound bowl. And I found that to be really beneficial. I feel like it really just kind of shifted my entire energy and kind of cleansed that craving and like released and I was able to move forward. So those are some of the things I did. And now I'm going to tell you more about like my process and what happened on day 96. So I started on March 17th and then it ended on Father's Day. What is that? June, I don't know, June 19th, June 20th. It ended on Father's Day. It was a Sunday. And so my sister and I had planned to make a meal for my dad on Father's Day. So we went to my parents' house and I walked in and I was hit in the face in like the best way possible with brownies. Homemade brownies that my mom was making with icing like from my childhood, my Mimi's recipe. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I want them. And that wasn't unusual for me to want them, but it was like, it was not even something like my body. I guess what I'm trying to say is I wasn't craving it until it like hit me in the face. So that was new and different, but I also made sure to not just tell myself I couldn't have them. So I acknowledged that I did want the brownies, and I decided I'm going to cook this meal and I'm going to eat a full meal and then I'll reevaluate. So I did that, and it was like I still want the brownies after I finished and I had a meal in me. But then I told myself I'm going to wait, I'm going to do something else, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to take a look at this again and see if it's something I really want to do. And also realizing that, yeah, if I do this, I'm going to ruin my 95-day streak. So, or I guess it was almost 96 at that point, but you get the gist. um, anyways, I think we worked on a project or something and then finished, and I was like, you know what? Like, I understand I'm going to let go of this streak, but I am making a mindful, conscious decision that I'm going to enjoy a brownie. And I did. And it was so good. Like, my eyes are like tearing up just thinking about, I don't know. It was like so much better than just eating things to like numb or out of habit. Very unconsciously, this was a whole different experience. It was like I enjoyed every bite, and it just, it, it was so good. It was so good. So having that taste of sugar, then I wanted another one, and I allowed myself, and I had two, and I was full, and I moved on. So that was like a full day at my parents' house, and I ended up eating dinner there. And then I was like, okay, like I want another brownie. I had two more brownies. I had four brownies that day, and I didn't feel guilty, which I feel like is just, that might be the biggest progress of all. Like, it's huge. It's one thing to consume sweets or something of that sort, but it's just a whole nother thing when you consume and you have the guilt. I feel like that just magnifies the, I don't know, detrimental effects like on our bodies. So that was progress. And I was very aware and like tuned in to myself and how I was feeling the next day. And I guess because my body hadn't been overburdened with sugar, with these carbs, that my liver, my body was able to process in a more efficient way, and my mood wasn't affected. So that was amazing. I got home. I don't keep sugar or any of those things at home because that just works best for me. If I don't have it, then I am very unlikely to go get something at this point. So it was very easy to get back on track the next week. A week later, it was my sister's birthday, and there was pie. And I had two pieces of pie. It was delicious, but it was also like, I didn't go into it as mindfully, and I didn't feel as good about the experience. And I also, you know how some things like you just really, really love, and then other things you're like, okay, it's okay. Like, I mean, I say it's okay. Delicious, but not like soul delicious. Does that make sense? And so that was kind of the case with the pie. And so I felt a little bit of guilt for consuming that when it wasn't at the level of the brownie. But at the same time, like, I know and understand that it's like part of my process to figure this out. Um, anyways, got back home, went into my next week, and my mood was okay the next day, but that started off a bunch of cravings. So in that next week, I love going to Natural Grocers, and they have these bags of chopped dates with oat flour on them. And okay, it's not processed sugar, but it definitely still affects my mood and affects my blood sugar. So while I do think it's an overall healthier choice and something I definitely use more at the beginning of process to get myself off of the processed sugar, it's still something that for me leads to more cravings. So I had the dates. That turned into a bag of Tate's cookies. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but they were delicious. They were on sale. And then that turned into a crumble cookie. And then I think another bag of dates. So that was a lot. That was like system overload. And for the following week, I was completely off kilter when it came to my mood and my emotions. Like I can't remember if I was crying then, but sometimes sugar affects me that I will just like be crying and feel really sad, and I don't know why. I now know why. I connect that to eating too much sugar, but crying, my energy is not, it's not great. I like nap during the day. And also I'm just like my poor husband. I just like, I love you, but I kind of just want to do my own thing. Like I'm not really in the mood to interact. Um, Luckily, he's patient with that, and I just had to kind of wait and let that get out of my system. Got back on track for a good long while, and then it was just this. It was about a week ago. It was my mom's birthday weekend. All these birthdays. We celebrated 2 days. So Friday, I had a crumble cookie, and you know what? That felt really good to be able to do that and not be terrified of like going down this like crazy rabbit hole and feeling like my whole mood is affected. So that was very enjoyable. It was fun to do that with my mom and my sister, and it was just it was a good experience. And then the following day was like her birthday party, and I made the cake. I licked the beaters, I licked the icing bowl, and then I did have 2 pieces of cake, and that was a lot, but I felt okay after. And I'm not sure if that's because the following day we were helping at a garage sale, and I was like standing in the heat, so maybe my body was able to process that more quickly, or maybe it was just far enough out that my body was able to process it anyways. I'm not really sure, but it felt really good to again be able to enjoy that experience with the people I love and without guilt and without repercussions. So anyways, that's where I'm at. And I, after day 95, like my goal is to not consume sugar, I guess, but if it's a special occasion, like it does feel good to be able to choose to partake in that if I want to. But I'm no longer keeping track of the number, and that feels really liberating, and it feels really loving and kind to myself, and it also, I don't know, it lets me know that I trust myself and that I'm capable and there's nothing wrong with me. And so I feel like that's very nourishing in terms of my self-worth, which is something that I'm definitely working on. So anyways, that is kind of the wrap up of my journey with sugar, at least as I was tracking it. Yeah, I would love to know if you have, I don't know, if you've been through anything similar or have any tips that you have used or that you do use, or if you have any struggles as well. If you're struggling, know like you're not alone. This is so common. So many of us struggle with these things. Yeah, you're not alone. You're amazing. And also, the ebb and the flow is part of the journey. So just because you feel like you've fallen off the wagon, like, and maybe sometimes feel like you ruined it, you haven't. It's just part of that step back to take 2 steps forward. And I don't know, everything also, I believe, happens in divine timing. And once I told myself that, I feel like that was also another very nourishing, loving thing to say to myself, and to realize like these, again, these ebbs or these back steps where I do or did consume sugar was part of my process in further cementing like who I want to be and how I want to live going forward. So anyways, I just want to thank you again for tuning in, and I send you all my love, and I hope you have an amazing day. Thanks for watching.